Hello, my name is Jacque, otherwise known as ANdmadeco here on YouTube and on Instagram. Today, I want to go over Flock Fiber Festival and my recap of Flock. So I just came back. It's still Sunday. It's at 4 p.m. I have no chill, so I'm filming this just after I've gotten back from Flock. It was my second day, so yesterday was Saturday and today's Sunday, and so the marketplace happened. I met a lot of people, some of whom I will mention and others that I remember everybody's faces, but names and accounts I didn't get everybody's of, so I'm so sorry if I don't mention you. And there are so many booths that I saw that I didn't take videos of, so I only took videos of the places that I've actually went in and bought things in, and the places that I've just gone and visited I don't have b-roll of. And so I'm sorry about that. And that's why I'm saying this will be a largely personal recap of it, because I'm not going through every booth or anything. And so if you aren't interested in acquisitions, this probably isn't the video for you, just because I do have quite a few acquisitions and I have some plans for some things I don't have plans for, and so I'll go over those as well. I'll try to tag and link everybody who I mentioned down below. If you said hi to me, thank you so much. It means a lot to me that there are people out there who watch these videos, and it just is so nice to be able to talk to people in real life and see everybody's projects in real life. So all the people that I have pictures of and b-rolls of, I've asked permission if I could share their faces and everything online, and they've all said yes, so I just want to get that out of the way as well. So I'd like to say that my Flock experience actually started on Friday, because I met Kelsey at Sunday Knitting Society at Din Tai Fung, and we had dim sum together with Kelsey, her mom who flew in with her, as well as Ophelia. And it was so fun just talking with the three of them and chatting at dinner, and we had a really great time. Din Tai Fung is always so good, so delicious, highly recommend. And so I just loved being able to meet Kelsey in real life and just sit down and talk with her, because I started following her, I think around 3-4 years ago when she first started posting videos. And then just the first Flock Fiber Festival, I missed her, so I didn't see her. But then last year I saw her at Flock, but we didn't have a chance to sit down. So this year I asked if she wanted to just hang out before Flock, and she said yes. And so it was so nice being able to meet her. She also gifted me a project bag that she made, and this print is so Kelsey. I love it. And also it's just really nice. I think it's the perfect sock project bag or a small project bag, and I am so excited to be able to use this. So thank you so much, Kelsey. So if you watch Kelsey's video, she says that she's not that great at sewing and she's just gotten into it, but she's really good in my books. I don't sew, but her lines are so straight and it's really nice. I know you do it with the machine, but still be able to do it, and it's lined in the inside is amazing. So thank you so much, and I will definitely get a lot of good use out of this bag. So I'm very happy. It was just so nice, and so it was just so pleasant meeting Kelsey, and I'm just so happy that we were able to have this experience before Flock actually happened. So I didn't take any classes, so my first day at Flock really started at the marketplace on Saturday, and I will insert b-roll. I took some b-roll, but again, I'm sorry if it's quite shaky just because I don't have the most steady hands. On Saturday, Flock Fiber Festival opened at 10, and from 10 to 12 you had to mask, and then from 12 to 5 when the marketplace closed for the day, you didn't. I knew that I wanted to put my baby to sleep, to nap before going to Flock, and so I timed it, and so she went to bed around 10, so she woke up around 12, and so I ended up getting to Flock at around 12:30, which is around when I thought I would get there, just because I wanted to avoid some of the crowds. I know that at 10 it gets super jam-packed. I didn't really want to stand in line for anything, and we had limited babysitting hours, so that's when we chose to do it, and I'm so happy that we did. At 12:30 it was still very, very busy, very crowded, and I felt like in some parts of the booths, I really couldn't move. There are some booths that I skipped going into because it was so busy at that time. Saturday, my husband volunteered to come with me, and so it was really nice. We thought it would be more of a date day. Spoiler alert, it wasn't ever like that, just because everything was so busy and so overwhelming, but it was really nice because we got in and there was nobody at check-in, so we didn't have to stand in line at all to get our bracelet. And when we checked in, Elsa at Half Wet Knits, she was there. She was giving everybody the Flock map. and she was in her beautiful lace skirt that I think she's going to wear for her wedding rehearsal, and it was she was wearing it at Flock, and it was so beautiful, such a work of art, and I'm so happy that I got to see Elsa. She also works at Tea Cozy Yarn Shop. We took the escalators up to the marketplace, and then when we got to the marketplace, I wanted to do one loop before I wanted to go into any booth with my husband, so I just went back and forth into each aisle, and here I met some people. So I met Emily at the Botanical Knitter, who was at the Fiber MacGyver booth, and she's just so nice. She's so pleasant. Her mannerism and her speaking is just so nice, and she's so welcoming, and I love being able to talk to her. And it was, I think my vocabulary isn't that great, but she's a lobbyist. She knows how to speak to people, and she just has that really warm feeling. She was wearing her beautiful, beautiful vest with felted leaves in it that she showed in her videos before, and it was even more beautiful in person. So I was really happy to be able to meet her. Then as I was walking through, I also met Jacque is Making, also on YouTube and on Instagram, and Jacque is just so beautiful as well, and she's just such a pleasant person. She was wearing this really nice green V-neck t-shirt, and it brought out the color of her eyes, and she was just so beautiful. I was really happy to be able to meet Jacque because I've talked to her a little bit online, but we haven't met in person, and she flew in all the way from, I think, Minnesota. I think Jacque's from Wisconsin or Minnesota. I get my states mixed up. I'm so sorry. But she flew in, so it was nice to see her. And I think she flew out today, which is Sunday, so I wouldn't have been able to see her today anyway. So it was just a really pleasant time, and it was so nice running into each other as well. One thing I also forgot to mention is that on Saturday, I wore my Make Myself Flowers vest by Vex Knot Studio, and I have a project vlog on it, so I'll definitely link the video for that as well if you are interested in my outfit. I was wearing the Make Myself Flowers vest as well as a Uniqlo gingham skirt that Stephanie from Edible Thoughts makes. She recommended, and I'm so happy she did because they went so well together, and I'm really happy with that. I decided to go with that outfit yesterday, and so I'll have that project vlog linked below. My first purchase at Flock was a Hide and Hammer bag. I have been eyeing these bags for so long, and they're from the UK, so I didn't know what shipping would be like. And I think Les Garcons also stocks some Hide and Hammer bag in their shop in Montreal, but that I would also have to pay higher shipping for. I decided to get the bigger version. I think this might be the number 3 if I'm not wrong, but I will definitely have it linked as well. And I'm just so happy with it. The quality is so nice, and I decided to go for a yellow canvas bag. And how these bags work is that you open it up, and then you can put your project in here, and then once your project is in here, you roll it down and put this clasp over. So then you attach, these over your bag, so you can also have quite a big project in here. And they had a smaller size, but I thought that this would be more fitting for me just because I like making garments, and I am so happy to have one of these. I've been just wanting this for so long that I knew that this would be my first purchase, and this was something that I definitely wanted to get on Saturday. The owner of Hide and Hammer was just so pleasant as well, and she had on this really beautiful bright yellow dress with some pineapples as buttons, and she was really nice to talk to, so I'm really happy that I made that purchase. Then we walked around more, and at the end we saw the sheep again from Wild Rose Sheep, and the sheep are always the highlight of Flock. They're so cute, but I think that because there were so many people there, it got quite warm for them because they were standing in front of the fan, and it was so cute. They were eating and everything, and I just love seeing the sheep. And just forwarding to today, when my kids came to visit just at the very end of Flock, the sheep was also the highlight for them as well. So I'm really happy that the sheep were back, and they were just so cute. And then as we were walking through, I also saw Wandering Flock, and I knew I wanted to get a skein of Wandering Flock, and that's because I made my mirror cami with the Wandering Flock cotton lino in the color Poppy, and I stole that from the relax tee that was my plan for the relax tee with the navy and the poppy. And this time I decided to pick up a lilac, so I will be instead striping the navy and the lilac to make the relax tee. a la Stephanie, of course, at Edible Thoughts makes the way she made hers, except I'll make mine with thicker stripes. So I decided to just get one skein of this, and all of Geraldine's colors were so beautiful. Of course, I think I will be saying the same things over and over again, but everybody's booth, it was just set up and everybody's aesthetic was just so specific and to them, and I just love seeing everybody's. Just seeing all of the booths there, it was quite overwhelming, but also so interesting to see all the yarn out there. And so I picked this up at Wandering Flock. This is Cotton Lino in the color Lilac. Then after I bought the lilac yarn, I just wanted to walk around a little bit more and see what was available. And then the merch line was quite long. However, the pre-order line, there wasn't any line there. And so again, we went at 12:30, and by this point it was probably around 1 p.m. And so I decided to go to the merch line and pick up the zipper pouch that I pre-ordered. So if you're ever thinking of going to Flock and you know you'll be there for sure, I would definitely recommend pre-ordering your items, just because then you don't need to stand in line, or getting it on Sunday. But I know that last year they sold out of some of the items on Sunday, so I would definitely recommend pre-ordering these items. I think this was only $25, and it's quite a big pouch. I didn't realize it would be this big. I'm sure there were images, but I didn't realize that it would be this big, so I was really pleasantly surprised when it was, just because I ended up fitting all of my first day purchases in this pouch, and that was really nice. And throughout the day in my pictures, I could see my pouch getting bigger and bigger and more filled, and so that was pretty satisfying as well. After I picked up my pre-order merch and I walked around once, I didn't know what to get, and it was quite overwhelming in the marketplace just because there were so many people and I didn't really know what I wanted. I should have gone in with a better plan, but I didn't, and so I needed time to process a little bit. So I decided to go out to the staircase, because that's where June at June Knits on Instagram, as well as at Maddie by Thread Knits. June said that she was there, but Maddie wasn't there yet, but I was texting with both of them. And so they were up, June was up on the staircase. So we decided to go out of the marketplace, up the escalators to the staircase. And before I met June, I actually met Taniel at Knithusiast. And Taniel came up to me and said hi. And it was so nice being able to meet Taniel as well, because we talk online and we always like each other's projects. Taniel has a really clean aesthetic, I would say. And his reels are always nice and really calming, relaxing to watch. And his projects are always done on pretty thin needles, so it's very detail oriented. He loves that clean look, and the knitwear he was wearing definitely showed it. I won't show his face because I don't think he shows his face online, but it was so nice being able to meet him, and I wanted to mention him as well. And after meeting Taniel, I went upstairs, saw June, and I definitely looked through everything that she got. That's, I think, one of the best parts about being at Flock is that I get to see what my friends have curated for themselves, because there's such a wide variety and they could get so many things. So it's so interesting to see what everybody's gotten. And I think one of the best parts about a fiber festival like Flock Fiber Festival is just seeing what other people have gotten and seeing their tastes and what their plans are for that yarn, because I've definitely taken a lot of inspiration from a lot of other people. So it was so nice just being able to dig through what June got, and I am so thankful that I have friends who are willing to share that as well. Then while I was on the staircase, Emily said hi, and Emily I also follow on Instagram, and she's such a nice person. She's actually just graduated from, I think, University of Washington. She got her PhD in linguistics, which is all on her public Instagram page, so I'm not super creepy or anything, but she's amazing, super smart, and we actually share the same last name. So it was so fun to be able to meet her and chat, and we discovered a lot of similarities in our backgrounds with our kids and everything. So it was so, my kids, sorry, she doesn't have kids, but it was overall, I just loved seeing people and meeting people. And so I'm so happy that I was able to also meet Emily and chat with her for a little bit. And she also works at Acorn Street Shop, I think on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So if you ever want to see Emily or just get a really good help at Acorn Street Shop, you know who to go to. Emily's at Acorn Street Shop, Elsa's at Tea Cozy Yarn Shop, and so they have my local yarn shops that are the closest to me covered. And after decompressing on the stairs a little bit with June, my husband and June, we decided to go downstairs and go back into the marketplace. And while we were there, just walking around the marketplace, I met Kavya or Kavya. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce your name, I'm so sorry, but we also follow each other on Instagram again. And she actually joined the Flower Power Mail, and she was wearing her t-shirt t-shirt that she started during the Flower Power Mall, which is so cool to see that, because I was wearing my Make Myself Flowers vest as well. So we were able to get a picture, and her pink t-shirt was just so beautiful. I think it's a woolen pine design and it's just so beautiful, and I was so happy that she was able to say hi and we were able to say hi and get pictures with each other and everything. So thank you so much. Then we were catching up with Maddie again, and Maddie at this time was having lunch with Rachel and Jessica from Those Twins Who Knit, and so she said that they were on their way to the marketplace, and so we caught up with Maddie and with Rachel and Jessica, and it was also really fun to be able to see Rachel and Jessica in real life. They're so beautiful and they're so friendly and they're so nice. I think all of the people that I met this weekend was just they're just so kind. And so Rachel and Jessica, it was so nice to be able to talk to them and just to catch up, as well as get a picture with each other. But I have to laugh because this is something that I mention every time when I see people, is that I tell people that I have a big head and that my face is round and everything, but I think when I take pictures, it really stands out to me just how big my face is compared to Rachel and Jessica's and Maddie's, but it is what it is, and they're just so beautiful. It's also so nice to see projects that I saw online in person as they were wearing it. They're very kind, so funny, and we got to chat a little bit with their husbands and hand out my stitch markers that I was handing out to people. So I was really happy to be able to catch up with them too, and hopefully they'll be back next year and we could catch up some more as well. On Saturday, I was just so busy meeting people, and I think because it was so crowded, there was more of a chance of seeing somebody rather than looking at the booth, because it was hard to see all the yarn in the booth when there were so many people in front. So I was so happy to be able to meet a lot of the people. And one of the people that I also ran into is Michelle at Crochet in the Club, and she makes such unique crochet pieces. Michelle is truly a fiber artist, and I just love her so much. She comes to Knit Night on Mondays, and that's how we know each other. So I didn't get a picture with Michelle, but the reason I'm mentioning her is because she recommended the Superglo. She also picked up one of these, which is the Superglo Mystery Mini Set, and I love Superglo's colors. Their booth is so bright. They had the Labubu collection, they have their mini skeins, they had a lot of sale colors, and I cannot escape a good mystery, so I decided to pick up a mystery set. However, they were out of the fingering weight skeins, and so I got the DK one. That's all that was left, and I kept it closed because I wanted to open it now. And as you know, I'm very no chill. The part of the reason why I'm filming this video so early after flock is because I want to open this right now and see what I got. So we'll do that now. Oh my gosh. I'll try to minimize the crinkling noise, but this is what I'm seeing. It's 46 yards for 20 grams. So these are 20 gram minis. And it's 85% superwash as well as 15% nylon. So I can make DK weight socks with it, or I can make some very interesting gnomes, which is what I think I'm going to do. It's 46 yards, 20 grams, as I said, and 230 yards in total. So I have no clue what any of these colors are, but these colors are so bright. I feel like colors like this really scream Superglo to me. And I think just out of the gate, these two are up my alley. And then the darker, moodier ones, usually I don't go for as much, but I'm really glad to have it so that I can see how it works up. And this one is super speckled. I think this would be a great meet in the middle of both these skeins, and I'm so happy. So in a gnome, I think I might try to use the darker ones first just to see. And just in case I want to use something like this in a color work motif for something different, but who knows, maybe I will go for this. I'm not sure. I don't have any plans on putting these in a gnome for September just because I already have my September gnome planned out. But I'm so excited, and the reason I'm bringing up gnomes is because I'm making a gnome every month, but these might go into something completely different, and I just don't know. I think they'd be really nice in color work, as I said, for hats, for cowls, scarves, of course, and also for sweaters. I think if it's a couple of lines, then even 20 grams will definitely get me quite far. So I am very excited. Thank you, Superglo, for doing a mystery set. I cannot escape a good mystery, and this was definitely one. So thank you. And while we were also there, I met Lauryl, and she actually commented that she liked my Make Myself Flowers vest, and I couldn't place her. I knew I saw her from somewhere. I couldn't place her, but she has a YouTube channel. I'll definitely link it below. And she gave this pin, this butterfly pin. It is so beautiful. And it says, oh, her YouTube channel is called Knit All the Things. and it says knitting bestie. I think that's a sticker, and so thank you, Lauryl, for this. And I'll definitely have her link below as well. And she was so nice to talk to, so I was able to give her a few stitch markers, and she had a huge camera, and I think she said she was trying to go into a lot of the booths to film, so I'm pretty sure that her recap and probably other people's recaps will be a lot better than mine, and mine is completely personal account, so I hope that this is still of some interest to you. Then of course, as we were walking around, we saw the La Mercerie booth, and La Mercerie actually had quite a lot less yarn than they had in the past. I think in the first year they had Knitting for Olive. Last year they had some Sandra Yarn Co, and that's where I got my Sandra Yarn Co fleece and flax. This year they had a lot of their in-house brand, I think, which is Ampersand Fibers. So they had a lot of that. They had a bag, I think, also from Bustani, as well as Yarn Jam fibers. There's a lot of fiber. There was so much fiber everywhere, but I don't spin, so of course I didn't take much footage of it. I'm so sorry for those of you who are interested in spinning and in fleece and fiber and just that aspect of this fiber arts, because it's not something that I currently do. I didn't have any b-roll of it, and so I just saw that my sample cowl was there, and so I was just really happy about that. I also met Angela, who was the coordinator with my Frame Your Face cowl from Andrea Mowry and La Mercerie, so it was really nice being able to see her as well and seeing my cowl there. The yarn that I used was handspun by Jess of La Mercerie, as well as Knitting for Olive Midnight, but the colorway is Yarn Jam Shanico, and I think it's in the color Harvest Moon, and it is a collaboration between Yarn Jam and La Mercerie. And I would highly recommend the color because it was really beautiful to knit up. Then my friend Stella at Milk Enthusiast, who I've mentioned on this channel many times, she also came, and so we were able to say hi, and we actually went into Oshen Knits and Fibers together. And Oshen Knits has such beautiful colorways. I love their bright colors as well as their more saturated colors, and this is the first sweater quantity that I got at Flock Fiber Festival, so I'll show it to you now. And this is a boucle yarn, so it's called Algae Rocks, and it's an Ocean Bubbles, which is I think what they call their boucle yarn. It's a DK weight yarn, 100% superwash merino, 1 ply, 240 yards for 100 grams. So I got 3 skeins of this, and I think with 3 skeins I can make a somewhat loose gauge pullover, and so I'm really interested in seeing how this works up. I was debating on this versus a purple versus a brighter color, and I think Stella and June, who were with me, they all agreed, and my husband Harris, they all agreed that this color would suit my skin tone better, as well as just that I don't knit in green that often, so I'm really excited to have this because the color is really beautiful, and just they're so helpful. Today when my kids were there and they were just jumping in, I also got a sticker from Oshen Knits and Fiber, but when my kids were there, and they have a little ball pit, and so my kids were actually in it, and they took a Polaroid for them, and so thank you so much to Oshen Knits and Fibers. I definitely will keep this Polaroid and I'll cherish it, and thank you so much. This yarn is just amazing, and I've wanted to knit with boucle for a while, so I was so happy that I was able to go and see it in person and choose the color I want. And they had so many different colors. I like the subtle variation of green in these, so I'm really excited to make a pullover with this yarn. I also want to put in a small disclaimer in the middle of my video, of course, but I also wanted to put in a small disclaimer saying that last year, everything I got at Flock I used before Flock this year, and that's the goal that I have for Flock next year, is to use everything or use a part of everything. I don't mind if I have a skein from a sweater quantity left or anything, or if I bought a mini skein set and I used a few of them and I have a few left, that I don't mind, but if I get sweater quantities, I hope to make a sweater with it and such. So that's my goal of everything that I got at Flock I hope to use. Then as we were just walking through, I saw Natalie from Nitty Natty, and she's so nice in person, and she was wearing her beautiful pink dress, and it was just so nice being able to see her and meet her and say hi to her and just talk about Canada, because she's going through Canada right now. I've only been to Vancouver and Toronto basically, and so it was just so nice to be able to just go through live vicariously through her travels in Canada and see the yarn store she's visiting in Canada that I've never been to, that I've never even heard of. And of course, I feel like everybody knows Nitty Natty, but I love her videos. I love her demeanor. She seems very kind. She was very kind, and I am so happy that I was able to say hi to her. And right after I met Natalie, Gladys and Gina, they said hi to me, which was so crazy. And so I am so happy to be able to meet them. So Gladys also has a channel. I think it's called ANdmadeco Knits. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it, but she's left comments. And so we've talked a little bit before, and I'm just so happy to have met her and Gina, and they're just so nice. And Gina, I don't have a picture with Gina, but I think her Instagram handle is stay up late knitting or staying up late knitting. I'll definitely have it linked as well. But both of them were just so kind to me, and everybody's compliments, especially on my Make Myself Flowers vest, was just so nice. And people recognized me from my vest as well, which was also a new experience for me. But it was so nice just being able to chat a little bit with Gladys and Gina and just talking about their travels, you know, kids, all of knitting, my channel and everything. And so thank you so much for saying hi, and if you are watching, and I hope to see you again. I think Gladys, I think, is from Nevada, as I said, and Gina, I think, is from San Francisco. So they both traveled to come here, and so thank you so much. Then I think it was around 3 or 4, things had calmed down a lot, and so I was able to go into one of the booths that I wanted to go into for a while, and this is Camellia Fiber Company. Last year I went into their booth, but again, it was so busy that I came out, and then this year I went into their booth. I got this, which is the Camellia Fiber Company Serene Merino Fingering. It's 100% merino wool, and it's 438 yards for 100 grams, and this is in the color Grapefruit. So I've seen this color and I really wanted it. I follow them on Instagram, and it's so nice because the owner is Korean, and so it's really nice being able to see another Korean person, or just a Korean owner just succeeding in this fiber art space. And so I was so happy to be able to chat with her a little bit. But this color is so beautiful. It's almost a coral color, but a light coral. It's a very grapefruity color, as you'd expect. And I have another skein of Camellia Fiber Company that I got last year during their Black Friday sale, and so I plan on striping the two together. I think the other one is called Camellia. It's a lighter pink, and so I plan on striping the two to make maybe a t-shirt. So I am looking forward to that, which is why I only got one skein of this, but this is so beautiful, and I'm so happy that I was able to pick this up. And this whole experience was just so fun because I was able to spend more time with June, Maddie, my husband Harris, as well as Stella, I think left earlier, but just walking around, and around 4, maybe 3 to 5-ish, things had calmed down so much. And on Saturday, I think a lot of people who were there earlier in the morning were tired. And so we were able to go into booths that we otherwise weren't able to go into earlier in the day. And a lot of people recognized Maddie, and they recognized me from Maddie's channel. So thank you if you're one of those people as well. And we did go into Scranton Stitcher, and I wanted to mention it because I'm not sure whose idea it was to go into Scranton Stitcher at the time. But I love Scranton Stitcher's colorways, especially Electric Love, which is this bright pink one. And I love Scranton Stitcher's, just her colors are so bright. I picked up her mini mix, and this is mini mix original sock, 20 grams each, 75 superwash merino, 25% nylon, 84 meters per hank. And this is, I think she just put out different rainbow colors. You could pick your own from the skeins that she had. But I wanted to pick up a pre-made mix, and I picked up this one because it has all the different colors of rainbow, but very pop. And I was so happy to see this. So this is definitely something that I will knit with. I don't know if I'll knit it all at once, or if I'll make a sweater with rainbow in it, maybe, who knows. Or I'm not sure exactly what my plans are for this yet. But I know that I love the Scranton Stitcher's colorways, and I have a full skein of Electric Love in fingering weight, but I have plans also to send that to a friend. And so I decided to just get the mini skein, and I thought that that was a really good trade-off for myself, and I'm so happy to have this. The owner of Scranton Stitcher also just moved to Tacoma, so she's in Washington in the Seattle area now, and I think she moved from Kansas City, so it's really nice that she's now local as well. So those were all my purchases for Saturday, and they all fit in this bag, which was amazing. And I was so happy that I got this bag, as well as just everything that went inside it. But I came away knowing that I wanted to get more sweater quantities today, which is Sunday. And because I didn't get many sweater quantities, I only got one from the Oshen Knits and Fibers. And so I wanted a little bit of time to process, just because of sensory overload once we were there. There are so many colors, so many booths, so many vendors, and I wanted to try vendors that I've never tried before. And so I had to think about what I really wanted, what I heard from other people from last year versus what I thought I would be using, what I wanted to make my husband, my plans, and all of that. So knowing that, I slept on it yesterday. Definitely had sensory overload. When I got home, my ears were ringing because it was quite loud. I really wanted to think about my purchases, and so I knew that today would probably be a more expensive day, but I wanted to be a little smarter going into it. All of that to say, that brings us into Sunday, and today in the morning, Maddie said she wanted to Uber together since we live very close to each other, so I walked over to her house and we Ubered together to the convention center, which was great. We were both wearing the sardine sweater by Sweater Weather Ceramics. She tested her version and I just knit it after the pattern was released because I was so inspired by her version. Nice going into flock wearing the same sweater. People recognize us. I was able to see her from far away. She was able to see me from far away. So that was nice. We got to the marketplace today in the morning. We went exactly at 10. There was no lineup. We could just walk right in because we still had our bracelets on, which I've taken mine off. My daughter stole it, but everything was good. And so it was very seamless, very easy. And today was calm. Today, 10 to 4, it was very calm all throughout. I would say that all the booths you could go in and see everything. 10 a.m. versus 3 p.m. had the same number of people. It might have been even more busy in the afternoon somewhat because people were just walking around and really going for with their plans of what they wanted. So if you are looking for a calmer experience, you don't want to go through the crowds, you don't want to get that hype yarn, definitely recommend going on Sunday. I went with a plan today, and my one definite plan that I wanted to do was to purchase some yarn at Juan Woolworks, and I've wanted to purchase their yarn last year. I kind of regret not purchasing their yarn. And then Saturday, I was looking at some Aran weight yarn, and they only had a white color though, and right now I'm not able to wear a lot of white just because it gets dirty so easily. But I wanted to make something for my husband in this gray color, so I knew I still wanted to purchase from Juan Woolworks, but I just didn't know what base or anything. And they have this base called Spy Hop, and it's a Finn BFL cross lamb's wool. And it says it was sourced Oak Knoll Farm and Sweet Earth Farm in San Juan Island in Washington, very local. It was shorn by Dan Gardner, Becca Shim, and Mike Murphy in spring of 2025, very recent. And it was scoured, carded, and spun at Skagit Woolen Works in Mount Vernon, Washington. So I'm so happy that I was able to find something that was so local to me. And this is 100% island grown wool, DK weight, Mizzle, 3-ply, spun worsted, 245 yards per 100 grams. So it actually has quite a lot of yardage for 100 grams for DK weight at 245. And I don't know exactly what sweater I'll be making my husband with it, so I picked up 6 just in case. And my thought is that if I only use 5, then I can definitely use one in a hat or something. It's quite a soft yarn, and so I'm really happy that I was able to pick this up from a place that's so local to me. And San Juan Woolworks also, just their aesthetic is so nice. Everything feels very natural. They also had some colored yarns. I think it was almost 3 booths in one. There was San Juan Woolworks, there was a Skagit Valley, and there was something else too. I can't remember exactly, but I'll try to include all of the B-roll. And just their aesthetic was just so natural fiber based, and I was so happy to be able to purchase from them. So this was early in the morning. I knew I wanted to go to San Juan Woolworks, so I beelined straight for it. I knew that Maddie and Sarah and Kelsey, who also have Instagram handles, and so I'll have their links down below as well. So they were heading off to get the yarns that they wanted. I knew my friend Emma was also coming in the morning, and my friend Emma is a personal friend, and her and Harris actually went to university together in Canada, and so she's here and she knits, and she's the one that's pregnant with twins. And so it was so nice just seeing her get more into knitting, and just I think it was her first fiber festival. It was really nice just pointing out larger indie dyers, smaller indie dyers that I liked, that I've tried before. And I really enjoyed just spending time with Emma. We walked around and she bought some things at Explore Knits and Fibers. I think she got the Sangria Familia yarn. I'm not sure exactly of the name from Explore Knits and Fibers. It's beautifully speckled, light rainbow speckled yarn and to knit for her babies who she's currently pregnant with. And so we were also planning out some purchases for her as well and planning out projects. And so that was really fun, just being able to show my in real life friend some of my hobbies and bring her into my world as well. And so I really enjoyed my experience doing that. I don't know if Emma was also aware that I had a YouTube channel, but I also had a viewer, Lemonade. She came and said hi, and so thank you for that. And I think that's when Emma realized that I had a YouTube channel, and she's like, oh, I didn't know you had YouTube. Yes, I have a YouTube channel, and I mean, she's welcome to watch, I guess, but also she's, as I said, she's an in real life friend, and I don't know if she will get this deep into this hobby as I have. But again, that's how I was introduced to knitting, was through my manager, who I really love, in 2019. And so I think that maybe she'll get into it, and hopefully she'll get into it and we can come to Flock again together next year. While I was with Emma, she bought Explorer Knits Fibers, and then we were just walking around and she wanted to go into Ikigai because Ikigai had this like beautiful crocheted lamp, as well as just really bright sign, as well as just really fun yarn in general. And so she bought some of the Tama yarn, which is a white yarn with really small rainbow dots in it, almost like felted dots in it. And so you hold it together with another yarn and it makes beautiful baby pieces. I know that Chelsea at Sunday Knitting Society, she's made baby hats, I think, with hers before, from the ones she got last year or the year before that. So I definitely suggested it to Emma. She bought a skein, but while we were there, I didn't buy anything when I was with Emma. But then when I met up with June and Maddie later on in the day, I said we had to go into Ikigai because this couldn't leave my head. It was living in my head, and so I decided I had to get it, and it is the Poppy Chicken Knitting Kit. And I love it because the chicken is so cute. And it's also small. I felt it. I think they had some poly beads in theirs as well, so it was quite hefty. I loved how it felt. I loved the yarn as well. So, and I thought the price was reasonable, so I got this. It comes with all of the things that you need. So I think it comes with the eyes as well as the tiny amounts of yarn you need for the beaks, as well as the little, I don't know what you call the rooster head kind of thing on the chicken, but the little flap on the head as well. So I was so happy to get this from Ikigai Fibers. And I mean, I've passed their booth so many times. It's always so crowded, but I was able to go in twice and get this. That one time I did go back for it, so I'm really happy that I did. And when we were walking around, we also saw that Sorella had their new yarn, which is I think called Home, and it's a mill dyed yarn. From what I know, it's 80% superwash, 20% nylon, so it was very soft, and I think that it's perfect for baby knits. And so I suggested that if Emma was, and it's at a slightly lower price point. I think it's $20 per 100 grams, and it's quite DK to worsted weight. And so I suggested that if Emma wants to make her baby's hats or clothes, because then she doesn't have to worry about helical knitting or dye lots or anything like that, it's a little less fussy. And so she got some of their new Home yarn, but Sorella, of course, had a huge booth. I heard that their lines were out the door basically on Saturday in the morning. So I'm really happy we went on a calmer time and she was able to pick out the yarn that she wanted. Then of course, just walking around, I also then again saw Emily at Fiber MacGyver, and here's Emily saying hi now. And when I was there, I asked Emily for some suggestions of yarns that she liked, and she loves the Shanico base, which is really good to have in mind because it's all American. And so I will definitely keep that in mind. When I was there, this is the one skein that definitely caught my eye as she was suggesting bases to me as well as some yarn to me. I just saw that they had this one left, and so I definitely had to pick it up before somebody else got to it. So I almost interrupted her while she was speaking, and I was like, I'm so sorry, but I just have to hold on to this just in case somebody else gets it. This is the Fiber MacGyver Merino Twist in Disco, and it's 80% merino, 20% nylon, fingering weight 400 yards for 100 grams. And Emily even said that if you want one skein from Fiber MacGyver that just gives you a taste of Fiber MacGyver, then this would be it. I don't know what to make with it, maybe socks. She suggested a musselburgh hat, which would be beautiful in this as well. I am not sure, but I have it and it is so beautiful, and I just love the yellow speckles in it, and it's such a fun yarn. And I feel like today I got some sweater quantities and I got more calm yarns, so this was one of my bright purchases of the day, and I'm really happy that I got it. I also want to say that it was Emily's birthday yesterday on Saturday, but I forgot, so I definitely wished her happy belated birthday today, and thank you again for your recommendation. I seriously love this yarn. I think one of the best things about going to Flock in person is that even though I don't have the budget to buy all of the yarn right now, I can feel it and keep a catalog in my head as well as on my phone of yarn that I like and the colors that I like, because in person it's slightly different than on screen. And so I'm really happy that I picked this up, but it's also really good to know that the MacGyver base is also very beautiful. Then it was around lunchtime. I think we had lost Maddie by this point, and so June and I, and Emma had left at this point. So June and I, we were just wandering around. I told her I wanted pierogi, and when we went to pierogi, Maddie was there with Sarah and Kelsey, so we all sat down for lunch. Pierogi is always really good. I love the potato and cheese pierogi. Personally, that's my favorite, but they also have other options as well. And after pierogi, we went upstairs again and we were just walking around, and I saw this at Thought to Thread. Thought to Thread is also local, but this is the Brooklyn tweed base, and this is called Staple. It's fingering weight 550 yards to 100 grams. This caught my eye because this is a really large skein compared to a 100-gram skein like this, and they're both fingering weight. I mean, this has 550 yards compared to 400 yards, so it makes sense. And it's a very lofty yarn. So this is Brooklyn tweed, so I think that's why. So my thought is that this will probably also be out of stock soon, just because Brooklyn tweed is no longer, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And this was dyed in the PNW spun by Brooklyn tweed, and this caught my eye because it looks like flowers. I'm thinking maybe I can hold this with the yarn that they vlogged when she was here. They vlogged Got Me, and so I think I was going to hold a white yarn with it, but I'm thinking maybe it's nice to hold a floral kind of palette with it, with the floral kind of palette yarn. And so I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with it, which one I will hold on to it. I think I will have to see about patterns and just see what will fit better. But I thought that this was beautiful. This was also very, very reasonably priced because one skein was $25 so I could make a whole sweater because it'll be over 1,000, it'll be around 1,100 yards with just 200 grams of this yarn. And while we were walking past, I also ran into Chelsea from True Lane, and I love her videos. I also love her Instagram, and I just love her style in general. She moved to Connecticut. She was originally in the Seattle area, so it was so nice being able to say hi to her and catch up with her and her friend. And her friend's partner, Adam. I'm so happy. And Chelsea, of course, is also just as nice as she is on camera, even nicer. I think that's my whole takeaway, is that just everybody's so kind. And I think everybody was in a really good mood, even if everybody was slightly tired. And so it was just a really good experience overall. Then my last purchase of the day was at Les Garcons, and I picked up this. This is a marled yarn. This is a Chris and Jonathan, and this boutique Les Garcons is the British DK, but it's their marled yarn, so it creates really beautiful sweaters, which is what I plan on doing. And I love, or rather it's a spun yarn where two colors are spun together and it creates a really nice marled effect for sweaters. I got 4 skeins of this to make myself something. Today I was more onto the green. I think that's why I brought up the fact that both Emily and Jacque from yesterday were wearing green, because I think it inspired me to pick up some more green things at Oshen Knits and Fibers as well as at Les Garcons. So I'm really happy that I picked this up. I really enjoy this palette. I think that this will be a really good color to have for the winter season, and so I got 4 skeins of this. And I also picked up their Spin Cycle dyed in the wool yarn, and I looked at the Spin Cycle booth. It was just sensory overload. There were so many colors. I didn't know what to choose, but I knew I wanted to get one of the Les Garcons yarn, which is called Je ne sais quoi, and this was at their booth. And the Max as well as Jonathan at Les Garcons told me that they just got in new colors of the Je ne sais quoi on Friday, and it's even better than the first batch, so I picked out my favorite. And so I don't think I'll pair these two together, but I got their yarn as well as from Spin Cycle, as well as the Les Garcons British DK, which I really enjoy. The only yarn that I got last year that I got again this year is actually the British DK from Les Garcons. I think everything else that I got this year is new because I wanted to try new yarn, and I think hopefully going forward I'll be able to try new bases, new yarn. I want to be a little more adventurous. Usually I stay within my safe space just because I know what works well with projects when I buy a yarn online, but I think when I see it in person and I feel it, then I have a little more ability to judge if it will work for me and my lifestyle. I also have just a couple of booths that I didn't purchase anything at, but I wanted to give special shout outs to just because I thought it was so beautiful. First is that at Ritual Dyes, they have their new yarn, they have this flock fiber special colorway, which is the Ritual Dyes Undine in Wisteria, and Undine is 60% cotton, 40% linen. I've worked with it before to make my couture top, but since then I've also worked with other cotton linen yarn, and I just bought the cotton lino, so I decided to skip out on the colorway, even though that Wisteria colorway is so beautiful. But then out of the corner of my eye, the sheep sweater really caught my eye, and this is a new pattern that will be coming out from Caitlin Hunter. And this pattern, I think she said, the lady who was working at Ritual Dyes said that the sheep sweater is a sweater that was meant for the Sacred Sheep, and Sacred Sheep is also a fiber festival, and I think it's happening in Portland in November, and I won't be able to go to that, but I thought that the sweater was so beautiful, and I've seen it on Caitlin Hunter's Instagram. I definitely want to make it when it does come out. And she said that the knit along should be happening somewhat soon, and so the pattern will probably be released somewhat soon, and it's made with Ritual Dyes yarn. And so I'm not sure if that's the yarn that I'll be using for the sweater, but I thought that the sweater was also really beautiful, and it was so nice to see a sample of it. One last special mention is that Witchfire Fibers also had these small bouquets, and they had a small bouquet, a large bouquet of yarn that they put together in a floral bouquet wrap, and so I thought that was beautiful, and I wanted to mention that. Thread to Thoughts, who I bought this yarn from, they also had some mystery skeins too. I want to mention that as well, which was $25 a skein, but you had to open it at the counter. So I didn't get that because if it was a mystery skein, I wanted to open it on camera, and I also got the mystery skein from Superglo Fibers, so I decided to skip it, but I got this yarn instead. And then so we just rested, and I met Emily as well as her friend Bridget. I'm not sure. They're teachers from Wisconsin, I think it was. Is it Wisconsin? No, Missouri. St. Louis is in Missouri, I think. So in Missouri, and it was so nice being able to chat with her. She just got married apparently in May, so congratulations. And it was so nice being able to just chat with other knitters and having fun with that too. And she got yarn, the same cotton lino yarn from the Wandering Flock, to make a Colette tee. And so I'm just so happy to be able to connect with people in real life. And I think that's my big takeaway from Flock Fiber Festival, especially after doing YouTube and Instagram, is that it's so nice to be able to connect with people in real life. Then we came home, and now we're resting, and I'm filming, and I'll have to now edit this video. So that was my whole recap of everything that I remember from Flock Fiber Festival. I am 100% sure I'm missing quite a few things, and if you are one of the people that I missed out on, I am so sorry. I'm just trying to do my best at, I don't have everybody's pictures or anything, so I'm just trying to do my best. And thank you so much for saying hi if you did say hi. If you missed out on Flock Fiber Festival because you couldn't get to it or you're not near, then completely understand. And I hope that you're able to go to a fiber festival in your area, or you're able to have fun with just knitting, and you don't need to go to a fiber festival. You don't need to get indie dyed yarn. You can still enjoy knitting. I just wanted to mention that as well. So I haven't completely calculated my budget yet and how much I'm over or under, but I think I'm roughly at a place where I thought I would be at. So I'm really happy that I didn't go too much over my budget, but I knew that this would be a spendy weekend for me, and I've been saving up for this festival from my birthday, and I've asked my family for birthday money to go to Flock, and that was in April, so I'm really happy that I was able to spend some of that as well, or all of it as well. And that's everything I wanted to cover for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that this video is so disjointed as well as kind of shaky, and that I am in a very hyper mood, but I hope that you will join me for my next video. If you can, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.